we get to Sicamia and there are 20 cars, I'm leaving. I'm just telling you that. Gonna go find another beach. There are plenty to choose from. I found St. John's Wort on my way to the beach today. It's a little bit early. Usually it's around the Feast of St. John, which is in June. And I remember last year thinking that and being late and not getting it. I need this for the healing oil that I make. So I'm thrilled that I saw it today because there is a riot of flowers out there, and there are many yellows. And just in passing, you can mix it up with broom because it blooms at the same time as broom. But once you know what you're looking for, it's quite easy to find. And as I said, it's not that common. I mean, you have to look for it. It doesn't grow in bushes. I wasn't expecting to get involved with the St. John's Wort today. So I need to get some olive oil to put these in, but that can wait till tomorrow. This reddish element that's coming out of the fresh flowers is the anti-inflammatory hypericin. I cleaned all the roots off and it's been out here overnight. Looking good, drying out a little bit, so there's less likeliness of mold when I infuse the olive oil with it. To be continued tomorrow. I don't feel like going out for oil today. I'm tired. I just got back from Lavrio. In the past, when I did St. John's Wort oil, I would have added this amount just to one 5-liter jar. These are 4 liters. But I didn't see a lot of St. John's Wort out there. And I want to make sure I have enough oil. So I'm going to do these 2 on the light side and see what I think. Because within days you can tell if it's going to go ruby red or not. And I have a very, very dark, strong St. John's Wort oil that I've been doing for many years, so I don't want to change that. So I'll show you in a few days what color this is going to be. I think you'll be a little bit surprised. Bought all this oil, so I need to go out searching for the St. John's again. So many yellows, but I don't see my Spatholado. There is some in this area I've picked before. Beautiful late season poppies in this overgrown olive grove. There it is. You have to have a good eye for this job. When I went to buy the olive oil at the wholesale distributor where I get my supplies from for the cookies, I told him what it was for. It was for St. John's Wort oil. And he says, oh, where are you finding your St. John's Wort? And I told him, I'm not going to tell you. And I want to say, I've never seen a look of respect on one of the locals' faces like I saw from him. He's like, good call. You're right. Don't tell me. She's calling her animals in. It's a good haul. I got a couple of bouquets this size on this little street. Now I'm going to a parallel one where I know there's some more. There's plenty that's not ready yet, hasn't yet bloomed. We won't pick that, come back for that, but there is plenty here. Now normally I would be picking any herbs that are for infusion during a waxing moon. The moon is expanding. But unfortunately my schedule will not permit that, and the moon is at its end of waning. And I think it'll be fine. I know it will be fine. But I do like to follow the traditions and the folklore, even if I'm not able to this year. You are so patient. I know. What's Mom doing? She's picking weeds again. She's so weird. Mom's so weird. Hey, kid. Hey, kid. Look how beautiful that is. Knowing what this plant does makes me love it so much. Look at that. All these yellows. If you didn't know what you're looking for, you'd never see it. Okay, bouquet number 5. I think I've got more than enough, at least for now. I just got yelled at by a truck because my car isn't parked very well. So I'm gonna go home and lay these out to dry. Well, it's only 8:30 in the morning, and I got this great haul. Let it dry out. And I'm absolutely secure in the knowledge that there is as much of this out there as I want this year. All of nature is in hyperdrive this year because of these crazy rains we had. And there's just an abundance of everything. It's a wonderful thing to be able to say. In the past, I have not dried it. I have just crunched it up and put it into the jars fresh like this. And I've had great success. But I see other people, other locals, drying it out in the sun. And I read a little bit about it. And there's no question that your risk of having it mold in the jar, having mold develop, is definitely higher with a higher water content. So I'm gonna keep it out here for a couple days before I put it in the jars, just like I did the last one. And as soon as it gets a little bit drier, I'll also snap off all the roots, get it all cleaned up. I read on the internet that people are just using the flowers, but I've always used the leaves as well as the flowers. You can see how red they are. And this is the medicinal quality that we're looking for in these flowers. See that? How it's staining my fingers? This is what infuses the oil. All right, onward and upward. Next job. Ruby struck again. I found all these roots where she's digging. I think that's probably what's attracting her to the idea of digging. So I'm leaving it open like this for a bit to see what happens, because she has got to stop this. The traditional recipe calls for 40 days in the oil. I guess that has religious origins. 40 is a very important number in Christianity. I leave it in for more than a year. I leave it in for at least a year in order to get really, really potent. And there's no question that my St. John's wort oil is the most potent that I've ever encountered. So these second two, I did cut off more leaves because it's not, the first two are not turning red immediately like I have had them do in the past. because the first two seem like they're too weak. I'm hoping I did not pick too early. Unfortunately, next week I have my third and final court case concerning my renovation on the mainland. So that's why I have to do this job this week before I leave. Now I'm gonna clean the leaves off the stems because it makes a really, really good bedtime tea. The flowers, if I drink them in tea, it's almost like a narcotic. I don't like the feeling at all, but the leaves are a lighter calm. This plant is incredibly potent. It's absolutely advised not to use the oil topically or orally. If you're using pharmaceutical antibiotics, it can really interfere in a very, very dangerous way. The funny thing is, when I was a little kid and we had recess and all the other kids would run out to the jungle gym and run around like little maniacs screaming, I would quietly go under the bushes where I had created a whole world, scraping and digging and rearranging dirt. And I would do all kinds of little projects like this during recess. There was one other kid, Christina, I don't remember her last name, who joined me under the bushes. We were pretty geeky, actually. That's why when I learned about the Native Americans in our area and how they ate acorns, I was like, that was not a stretch for me. I was already playing with what I found around me and seeing what I could do with it. So when I got that tidbit of information, it was a no-brainer to start experimenting with acorns. First up, putting a load of laundry in while I'm around town for the next few hours. Why not? I have a lot of sheets to do. So the reason I actually had to come over all the way here is to get my medication. There's only one pharmacy on Kea, owned by one family, and for some reason they don't like the idea of bringing my medically approved cannabis. I don't know. They didn't tell me specifically why they didn't want to bring it, but I have to go to Lavrio to get it every month. It's 4 o'clock and I'm on my way back. It was a good day. I got a lot done. And I saw a friend. So I just got back from a few hours in Lavrio. I got quite a bit done. I got my medicine. I did a big load of laundry. I saw a friend. I got the jars for the St. John's wort oil. So super step forward in only 4 hours at the port. I just want to say it's like night and day here. Between last week and this week, it's like two different places. It was so cold and so uncomfortable and so inhospitable for all the winter. And now suddenly, just overnight, it's once again a beautiful, pleasant, wonderful place to be outdoors. The doors are open. This is definitely a summer home. And so I'm constantly trying to figure out, what does that mean for me? What am I going to do during December, January, February, March, April? Say 5 months. November is okay. I'm sure something will happen. Something will come up, or I'll come up with a solution. I love this house. And now that the weather has changed and it's become warm again, oh my God. I mean, it's a magical place, just magical. 'Cause this really explains carefully about dosage, which is something that I think everybody needs to learn about cannabis. But then it also has a lot of practical information about how to actually use cannabis flower. When I first saw this, I thought it would be fun to frame and put in behind the bathroom door or something where you have time to read. €11 a gram is less than the neighborhood. Every neighborhood has some weed in it somewhere. I think around the neighborhood, it's now about 15, 16 a gram. And this is 11, and it is so much higher quality. So much higher quality. Just like everything else in Greece, they go from 0 to 100 with one big step. Happens all the time for everything. Nothing happens for a long, long, long time, and then boom, they forget about the increments. Straight to the end line. Olympic Games 2004 comes to mind. Everything. Now it's the train in Lavrio. We've been talking about it for 15 years. One day, boom, there's just going to be a train without anybody having realized what was happening with the train. Okay, so this is the current situation, and I've been feeling really helpless because I don't have a weed whacker, and I don't think I should be running a weed whacker. But I do have this new scythe. It doesn't look new, but it is. And Hugh was using it the other day, and I realized, I just went out and tried it earlier this morning, that with the long grass, at least I can do something, because it's very frustrating. Thank goodness we did around the house when we did, because the fire hazard is increasing daily, exponentially. You can see how dry it is already. It was bright green just a few days ago. So that's the idea. I don't know how far I'm going to get. I don't know how practical this is, but it feels good to try. So I'm going to put you on time lapse because this is going to take a while. digging. Tell folks what a great life you have. The dog was too afraid to come out. Just too much going on, right? But the cat is fearless. You can really see on the wall how far I took it back. Well, at least something happened today. Everything has an energetic cost, and I need to spend my energy today on those cookies. There's a nice cloud cover today. You can see how dark it is on my face. So I'm going to do a little bit more scything. The idea is every morning, just do a little bit, and then I'll get to it. I'll get through it. Also, I learned the word scythe from an Englishman, from Hugh. Is it skiff in American? I think it is. But then would you be skiffing rather than scything? Anyway, let me know in the comments how you think this word is pronounced. I was looking for you. Yes, you. You're not supposed to be out there. Let me open the gate for you. Come on. The weather's really helping. It's so much easier to do this physical labor in cool, cloudy weather. You can hear the next farm over, they're working as well. So this was super productive. This half hour I did was even more productive than the last half hour. So I'd say about 3 or 4 more mornings like this and I should be okay. It's coming along. I don't know what to do with all of this on the ground. Another spider in my face. I mean, ideally it would be burned off, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think maybe I need a pitchfork in order to collect it all. But yeah, I'm surprised by how much progress I've gotten done just by hand. Me. As I said, a couple of spiders everywhere. I'm actually really surprised I haven't run into a snake yet. I think I heard one, but I didn't see it. Yeah, as I said a couple days ago, especially people with autoimmune stuff going on, multiple sclerosis in my case, and many others, energy is limited. So I'm really careful to dose it out. And I'm not doing more here because I have work down in my kitchen today. You two crack me up. Fighting all the time, but you can't get enough of each other. You have acres to play on, but no, you have to be here bugging each other. This morning I'm back out here measuring this rooftop to try to figure out exactly how to go forward in the moving of the drying table, whether I need to cut it in 3 pieces or in 2 pieces, and how many square meters will remain from the old table, and ordering the new stuff that I need in order to change the floor. So it's a design job, which I always love, but I want to get it right, and this is a little bit tricky because this roof is also responsible for collecting rainwater, and I don't want to interrupt that. So I'll have to have some way to do both activities at the same time: drying acorns, drying acorn chips that have been leached, and remaining clean enough for water collection. So I currently have 9 sections for a total of almost 20 meters. I have to measure it exactly. And I walked out there and I was thinking something like this, but as a design on paper, I like this, as long as there's enough space to walk around the back. And the man who built this is going to take it apart. We're going to replace the floor. And I'm going to have him put in some frames for some polycarbon. I have polycarbon on the bottom of this now, which I'm not going to be using. It's quite expensive, so I'm going to repurpose it to make this waterproof. So now I'm going to lay out the design in rope so I can get an idea of the actual feel of it on top of this roof, because I can't quite get my head around it. The table is so big. It's hard to imagine what it's going to be like and if there's going to be enough space in the back to walk. This has been such an informative exercise. I'm so glad I did this, and I'm so glad I have the rope. Okay, I don't have enough rope to map it completely out. There's this and this bit missing, but what I wanted to see was how much space there's going to be behind it and how this is going to feel. So I don't know if you can pick it up on camera, but this is 2 meters wide on this side and on this side. So you get this deep corner that's well over 250. That way, I'm getting 8 of the 9 sections over here. Now, it doesn't leave a lot of room in the back. I can close this up. Actually, I'd like to close this up, cover this up, and make this an even walkway. So that's fine. It is narrow back here, but that doesn't really matter. What matters is over here, where there will most likely be a chute for throwing acorns downstairs to the lower level on this corner. So there's plenty of room here. There's a nice aisle. Yeah, no, I think this works out well. If I try to reclaim any more space in the back, it's just going to take away from table space, and the whole point is to have as much table space as possible. This is all the rope I have, but you get the idea, especially that inside line. That's what I was particularly interested in seeing, how it would feel to work in there, because this is all table that I'm walking on now. Table, table, table. And here, this is the space in the middle where you'll be loading and unloading the tables. So, is it big enough? Is it practical? It's fine. I mean, as long as a tractor can back up to it, it's perfectly fine. And there's that corner. So it's just taking into account the 2 meter width of the entire table. I'm loving this. It feels like a godsend. I mean, it fits beautifully. This is another one of those ideas that wasn't there, and then suddenly it was, and it's perfect. Definitely synchronicity. The table that I have and the new space that I have fit like a hand in a glove. I've come over this morning to see what's going on in the kitchen, give you guys an update. I haven't actually gone yet. It doesn't look like much. Let's see. Doesn't look like anything has happened. Nope, nothing. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I'm disappointed. I really thought I'd come over here and it would be hustling and bustling with workers and things would be happening. But another week has gone by and absolutely nothing has happened. I'm not blaming the people that are doing this at all. I understand it's not easy, but it's just really, it's frustrating. You know, wrangling workers to do this kind of work on this island is very difficult. There are so many houses being built right now and complexes, and you know, this is a relatively small job for them, and I'm sure it's not going to be easy to get them to pay attention to us. Okay, so that was a big nothing burger. Sorry if you got excited, because I did too. We'll check in next week with this as well. No matter what I'm getting involved in next week, I'll be sure to come here and give you an update as well. I hope it'll be different than this one. So bye for now. And please, thank you so much for subscribing. I've had a deluge of subscribers these last couple weeks, and I just hope it keeps on going. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thanks so much, and see you next week.